We get through 2008. We hit 2013. We're now in Florida.
Yeah.
This seems to be a pivot point. What happens? What changes in your business?
Oh, it's easy, man. And and for everybody that's kind of wondering, okay, this is where it happens. Nah, man, it didn't really fly off from there. I just started to invest more in my education. So what happened is when we moved to Florida, I tell people it was like going to Florida was kind of for me going to Harvard for real estate. And what I mean by that is when we lived in New Jersey,
Mhm.
Jersey was only about wholesale, buy and hold, or you had to do something on the retail market. That was it. There were no real other strategies that were prevalent at that time in New Jersey. When I went to Florida, I saw mobile home investing, mobile home park investing, multifamily, land trust, lease option, you name it. Every strategy that was out there, people were doing it there in Florida at the RIAs or around the RIAs, the real estate investment groups. So I got exposed to a lot more, and it started to, pique my interest to be okay. Well, how number one, how do I differentiate myself? Because everybody was wholesaling, and I was just starting to learn marketing. So I said, okay, at that time, I'm Foxy Home Buyer, and I'm Mr. Foxy. And I just started going out and telling everybody, hey, what people do now when they're, hey, if you don't have those deals, come to me. And you can't do it for cash. Give me those leads, and I'll turn them into to deals that you can turn into lease purchase or owner finance. That was me. I did that.
Nice. I that. What year was that?
This had to be, dude. I moved there in 2013,
Wow.
14, before people really started to do that. But and I'm not. This is not a brag. It's just I'm saying that conversation had already started in the space. Hey, we could do this too. But what happened is, once I got to Florida, I started to understand marketing. I started to understand the needs for lists, direct mail, text messages. That's where I kind of developed my skill. Text messaging, outbound text, and SMS, and cold
Mhm.
calling. That's where we got really good. Knowing which lists to skip, knowing how to work with carriers. That's those are all skills that took me and my team years to develop. Because remember, I wasn't in any masterminds. So what am I doing? Trial and error. You know what I mean? Trial and error. That doesn't work. Okay. That doesn't work. Okay. And I told you I'm a stubborn bastard, so I just stuck it out as long as I could. But
So wait, why not? What do you feel made you take so long to get into education and masterminds? Because
yeah,
that is crazy that you've had to figure out the whole wheel on your own. Guys,
yeah,
this is the equivalent, in my opinion, that's the equivalent of you're trying to build a car and you have to start by learning how to make a tire and then make all and then an engine and then a transmitter and then everything else that goes into a car. Why would you do that? You would look up on YouTube and try to find a manual. What was holding you back? Was it money? What was it, you think?
Mm, I think I made it always about the money because you would look
Mm,
at that investment, and I think maybe some people are doing that now at the beginning. So I get it. It's you look at the investment, and you're just, man, I got to spend 5,000 or 10,000 with this person just to make it to just get access to their information, and you kind of downplay how valuable that is because you don't know. I didn't know. So I always heard masterminds, and I was that guy that was, maybe I would say, it's partly ego and partly maybe just fear of the unknown, just saying, yo, i don't I don't know if I'm going to be able to to give any value to, say, a mastermind. What would anybody want to learn from me? Was probably what I was
mhm.
too. But when I get I'm in one of the more powerful masterminds in the space right now around real estate, in my opinion. And I've
Which
just
one
heard,
are you in? I'm just curious.
sure, I'm in the boardroom mastermind with
Yeah,
Kent.
Ken Clothiers.
Kent
Ken was on here. I really like him. He's a dope guy.
Kent's solid, and he's gonna call you a bitch at some point. But or a motherfucker. But he's a good guy. And but what's special about Kent is, he, being that he's been in the space and still is for a really long time, he knows all the stuff. And what he's done with Boardroom is just kind of curate a really good group of people. I have not seen any hitters in this in real estate investing in one place, all put together, anywhere else. This is it. And
Mhm.
people that do ridiculous numbers, and there's just people that are just quality people in addition to that. So I think that's the thing. It was just right for me. Timing was right for me. It was my journey, but I always want to caution people, or that's why I think I'm Mr. Foxy, right? That's why I tell people I made a lot of the mistakes, so you don't have to. So just go ahead and get into a master. Once you get the thing rolling, get into a mastermind, but definitely get a mentor, because yeah, it's the same thing. It's like, would you build a car by yourself if you never built a car? Sure, you could, but how long would it?
Right.
How long would it take you? Just go and ask somebody, hey, let me help me build this car, and let's see if we can work together on it,
Yeah.
and, and let's figure it out.
100%. I mean, and also there are even a course, you don't have to, if you're just starting out, I would not recommend masterminds if you haven't done a deal yet, because I mean masterminds can be 10, 20, $30,000 sometimes to join a mastermind. But but joining a course or a mentorship that's either a couple hundred or maybe a couple thousand. My mentorships were a couple thousand. My first one was 5K, my second one was 8K.
Yep.
But those ones were unbelievably amazing. And it just depends on, it's really hard to choose. And I'm going to ask you this. How do you choose which mentorship and which course or mastermind to join? Because there are people who create courses and create all this material, and then they just haven't done a deal in 20 years, right? And that was my initial worry when I did it. I got lucky, I think. I didn't really vet my mentor at all. I was gambling. I was just like, yeah, he had a pretty good YouTube ad. I'm gonna sign up, right? Which is
Right.
not the way that I recommend of doing it. So, Mr. Foxy, how would you recommend it? How do you choose which mentorship or which mastermind to join in order to start leveling up your game?
Yeah. Okay. So that's a really great question, because I don't think I've ever had anyone ask me that directly. I can tell you how I picked my first real mentor. He's still here on YouTube. He's a guy named Claude Diamond. And
Love it.
Claude was one of my mentors probably about 10, 12 years. And I just met him. First time meeting the guy. I met him about 3 months ago here in San Diego. Okay. So how I found him is it was on YouTube. This guy would just talk about lease purchase real estate. That's all he did. He was talk about sales. And what resonated with me is that this guy was talking about something that I didn't have, and that was sales skills. So his promise was, if you come and work with me, I'm going to show you how to sell. And I'm going to tell you, when I worked with him, I got better at sales. And that was what I needed, because before that I was pretty good at getting opportunities, but I couldn't close the front door, you know. And
Mm.
after meeting Claude and working with him, I started to get better at sales, and I built confidence. Then I started to develop more and more, the willingness to go out and do more stuff. And that's really, I think, what you got to ask yourself is, where are you unsure? Where are you deficient? Where do you feel you need more support? And then go out in this wild world that we live in. And, I don't know, it's so vast with all the information. Just go find somebody that you believe has the answer that you're looking for, and then work with that person. Just don't even do your due diligence. Make sure they're not, especially in Florida, make sure they're not a meth dealer or selling, some other stuff. Just make sure that they're the person you want to partner with. But after you do that, then go make the decision and go and invest the money. Because once you put the money down, here's the other thing that happens that's magical. Once you invest that money, it ain't a game no more. You put something on if you've committed. And once you do that, something just clicks in our brain. And if you have the right mentor, what it does, that thing clicks in your brain saying, okay, it's game time. If you have the right mentor, they drill in the fact that, look, this thing is not just me telling you what to do. You got to do the work too. And if you're here for me to do the work for you, it ain't gonna work. But if you're here for me to guide you, that's somebody going, same analogy. They're gonna hop in the car and drive for you to California. Probably not gonna happen. But if you ask them for directions, they'll tell you. And that's what a good mentor is. And that's where I would say you go find them.
I love it. I love it so much. I'll just add on one thing to that is and you sort of said it, but I want to make it really, really clear for the audience, is also choose a mentor that is someone you aspire to be, somebody as a human being wise too. Is this the type of life do you want? Are you trying to have 16 girlfriends and a Bugatti? Then Andrew Tate is your mentor, right? If that's the lifestyle you're actually going for, right? But if you're, I don't get that personally, that's not me at all. I'm not trying to own tons of Bugattis and have tons of B words. I'm trying to make a ton of money, and I want to be around people who are like personally faithful to their wives and doing stuff that's what I'm more attracted to. So you got to choose the people that you're attracted to as well as a mentor. And something Mr. Foxy pointed out that I think is really, really key is I don't know anyone who becomes successful without eventually spending some money on education and real estate. I don't know anyone who just never spent a single dime. It's impossible. At some point, you spend money on education if you're going to be successful, because it's just such a hack to be able to learn from others who've already been where you are. And it commits you. It commits you where it's okay. I spent $7K. We got to make this work.
We got to figure something out.
We're gonna lose now if we don't make this work, right?
Yep.
So I just wanted to emphasize some points that you were the fire that you were spitting right there. So yeah, cool. So Florida, in Florida, so were you mainly? You said you were doing rentals in 2008, and then you stopped, or you owned a rental. And then has it just been wholesaling? What's been your journey of your evolution from wholesaling into other parts of it? I know you said you were doing creative financing, but what was your journey? Did you start with wholesale and then you did this and then you did that? Is there any recommendation of what you might recommend to somebody about different exit strategies and stuff like that?
Yeah. I think if I were just getting into real estate, if that's the question, where would I start? I would say it really all depends on if you're looking for more of a passive strategy or an passive aggressive, right? If you're looking to be more, just take my money and just watch it grow kind of thing, there are a lot of passive investments you can get into, and I would recommend, if you don't necessarily want to learn the business, just partner with someone that's already doing it. You can get access. Of course, you're going to have to spend time vetting them. Of course, you're going to have to look at the investment and see if it's for you. But that, I believe, is the easiest way to get into real estate investing and getting solid returns. Is just by being a passive investor. Now, if you want to take more of an aggressive approach and actually be an operator in one of the businesses, I would, no matter what, you're going to have to learn how to market. And that's going to be with, if wholesaling is just marketing, right? Wholesaling at its core is just, the start of it is just marketing, getting leads coming in. And then the strategy is what you do with the leads. So if it's not really great for a cash, but I can novation that, I'm going to do it. If I can get terms on it, and the seller only wants to do a certain number, I'm going to do it that way, or I might do something, an option. I'll lock it up for a little bit and it give me some time to sell it. You can take it a whole bunch of different ways, but you have to get the leads coming in. So that is a whole nother skill set. And I think it depends on what that person necessarily wants to do. And then you start down that road. So if it were me, aggressive wise, definitely got to get into wholesaling and understand marketing, because to me, that's wholesaling, just getting the leads coming in, and then, or called lead gen. And then when the leads start coming in, you're saying, okay, what do I want to generate leads for? Is it for short-term rentals? Am I doing it for self-storage because I want to buy those? Do I want to get into single-family rentals where I can burr? Do I want to get into fix and flip properties? Whatever you want to do, that's where it's going to start. And on the passive side, I talked about that. That's up to you.
I love it. It's so true. It's know thyself, right? I think I tell people this all the time. I usually do it in terms of what type of acquisition strategy they want. Because a lot of people come to me, you don't know this probably, but actually my entire business, my only lead gen is through real estate agents. I don't do any outbound marketing. I just network with real estate agents and get deals that way. That's my strategy. And a lot of people ask me about it, and is that the right strategy for me? And it depends on who you are, right? If you talking directly to sellers and getting into, those really salesy conversations, it's an amazing way. Real estate agents is more B2Bs, but there's different struggles there. So it's the same thing with exit strategies too. What is amazing about wholesaling is it's the base of all real estate investing. The beginning of every real estate deal starts with a good deal. Good terms, good buy price, whatever it is, being able to negotiate that. That's the beginning. And then everything flows from that initial start of either a wholesale deal or whatever the end exit strategy ends up being. So definitely really it. So when did you start scaling? You mentioned you had a team of 9. And I want your opinion on when should someone start scaling? When should someone start hiring people? When do you start switching from a solopreneur to an actual owner operator and then business owner?
Yeah. So in hindsight, I would say I would have started scaling earlier in the process, but you got to be ready to scale. If you don't really understand your numbers in the beginning, you don't know what they call them KPIs, key performing indexes, right? Indices, indicators, whatever you want to put in the eye. But if you don't know what your numbers are, what your inputs to outputs are, it's hard for you to predict what you would want to spend on and if you can even afford the salary to bring somebody on. So I started scaling probably my 3rd year into my 4th year. And when I mean scaling, being able to hire, but for the first couple of years, I was just all in it myself. Again, not knowing not knowing more than what I knew because I didn't belong to any masterminds. And that's why I think, and this brings me full circle back to my point. I think people, because let's say you go all in and you say, okay, I quit my job, and you don't have that much success yet. I did. I closed one deal and I had already quit my job, right? What I think happens is you automatically feel depressed because I should be getting this much faster. What I would recommend before scaling anything or even jumping into a business full time, start with where you are. If you got a job and you hate that job, great. You are set up the best. You know why? Because you already have motivation. You should, because you say you don't like the job. So you want to leave. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You don't want to be there. So let's start working on getting you out. Let's get you into a real estate business or a business. Then you learn that business gradually. You give yourself some grace and some time to understand how that business works and see proof of concept, see that it works, see success. Then you, along the way, especially in real estate, this, when it comes time, sometimes you need to access capital. It's way easier to get capital when you got a job.
True.
Is it not? So you got a W-2. You can go and apply for credit if you need it. Keep your credit in good shape. You can go get credit. You can go get a loan for a mortgage if you need to. You can do all those things with a job. You cannot when you're self-employed and doing this 100%. So that's why I tell people, hey, if you don't have a job, that's cool. Pick one, but just don't fall in love with the soundbite. Hey, we're bosses. We're bosses. Yeah, yeah, you could be the CEO and the boss. You could be, Mr. Whoever you want to be, but guess what? When there's no food coming in and your wife looks at you,
Right.
it's going to get real fast. So, are you ready for that? And that question is yeah, and you're ready for that. Just be prepared that you're going to take some hits, and if it's worth it, then go for it. Whereas you could easily just say, you know what, I don't like this gig. I think I'm better than this. I know I'm better than this. Well, let me build up my war chest. I'll work 9 to 5, but then I'm going to build my business 5 to 9, and then I'll wake up, rinse and repeat. And after maybe 6 months, a year, put the pressure on yourself in that amount of time to blow up. Then get to the point where you're ready to go. And that way,
Gotcha.
once you get out, guess what? Now you don't have to go back in.
Right. So, Mr. Foxy, real quick, because I want to give people specific advice. When do you make that jump? When's the best time to make that jump? Is it you have 3 months of expenses and then you quit your job? Is it you have 3 years? what's the metrics you would tell someone to use in order to be, all right, now you're probably ready to quit your job. Maybe you're ready to hire VAs. What do you use specifically metrics wise on how you would advise someone on when they should start scaling or when they should leave their W-2s?
Yeah. So it's again a personal one, right? I want to say this with some caution. But dude, I would say, man, the advice that I would give, I'm giving advice that I would give to my, my own son or family member, right? If you're gonna quit a job making 100 grand or 50,000 or whatever, just know that if you leave that job, what you're getting in return, just make it worth it. For me, I left $100,000 job to go to in 20,000. I just didn't get it. I didn't calculate. I'm a boss. I want to be out there. I know I could do it. I felt like I was an entrepreneur and I was being held back. And for me, took me 15 years. Here I am. But some people aren't going to last that long.
Yeah, man. I want to say that's pretty damn impressive. You lasted for 15 years. I want to applaud you for a second. That's a long, long, long time to be in this business, right? I'm only in 3 years and I already know people who've fallen off who are my contemporaries, right? So like it is I want to just applaud you for a second. 15 years is a long time to be in the business.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate it, and I think it's my responsibility for you. Just call me OG, and I'll take it. Being an OG, it's I just want people to be set up for the best and success in this business because real estate business has been great to me. Even despite all the downs and the things that were challenges, I felt it was par for the course, and this business has been great. Now imagine if we have just as a product of what we're sharing, all these other people that could skip all that hassle and get right to the front of the line. Don't you think we're going to have a better industry? Don't you think we're going to have more people that are bringing other people up because they did it? That's what I want
100%.
to happen. That's why I'm sharing what I'm sharing because I know for a fact that this business, like you said, is a simple business. It just ain't easy. And the reason I believe it's not easy is because people just don't have the information. Let's face it, when nobody grew up growing to Princeton. We're not Jeff Bezos. We're not Elon Musk. We don't have most people that are coming from a different, from low to high. We don't have that information. It doesn't make us worse. We just don't have the access to the information. But now you do. So take it, work it, and find the people that will help you do that so you could save time. That's the name of the game, saving time at the end of the day.
I love it. I love it so much, man. We're hitting the hour, but I have at least one last question for you that I always ask everybody at the end of the podcast.
Okay.
It's my favorite question ever. If you, Damon, Mr. Foxy, could go back to 2003, right when you were starting in real estate, what would you say to him then, knowing everything that you know now?
Oh, well, buddy, that's easy. I would have said first and foremost, I would have went with Foxy right off the bat instead of being Damon by it would have been Foxy home buyer from the beginning. So that would have been number one. And then second is everything we just talked about, man. I would say that I would look him in the face and say,
Right.
hey, Damon, you are gonna make it. How I know? I came back from the future, right? The movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would say to him, you're gonna make it. But here's what you got to do. You want to get there faster? What you got to do is you got to get hooked up with somebody that will help you, even if you got to work under them, even though if you got to be a grunt for them. Go do that work first because what it's gonna do is it's gonna save you time. It's gonna save you time, and I would do that. And I know that to be true because I give that same advice to my son. Now,
Right.
he works in my business and he's also started his own business. He started out, he's homeschooled. My son, since the time he's middle school, he's homeschooled. And I raised him, I directed him that, you have opportunities, but everybody has somebody that they lean on. Everybody has a coach. So get that direction. And what he's been able to, and to his credit, what he's been able to accomplish at 17 years old, is a direct product of me telling him the same stuff that I would tell somebody getting in business. Is just get with somebody that knows that you can get help from. And if you do that, the sky's the limit for you. And you're gonna get the results that you want fast. So that's what I would tell them for sure.
I love it, man. What can we do for you? What can my audience do for you? What are you looking for? Is there anywhere you're specifically looking for deals? Are there any types of deals? Is there
Yeah.
any YouTube podcasts? We can throw your Instagram in there. What do you want us to plug right now? What do you want us to promote?
Yeah, so right now we're on a push. We are smashing right now in Florida in most of the major metros. What I mean by that is we have a tremendous opportunity to take down deals. We have right now in the last month contracted, about 8 to 10 deals, which is
Nice.
phenomenal for a small shop. So we're looking to partner with people that want to be more passive investors, get into real estate, be part of a project. You know, we have one right now that we just partnered on, 10% return, cash on cash in 90 days. We're just giving sick returns because we want people to understand what we're doing, how we're doing it, and seeing that the returns are real. So, anybody that's looking to invest passively, hit me up. And outside of that, man, I'm just I'm always just looking for people to just tell me what else they need to know. Because I
I
love
love it.
yeah, I love talking. I love sharing info, man. So
So I just want to be clear. Are you looking for people to send you deals? It sounds like you're looking for private money. Let's be clear with the people. What exactly do you want? Do you want deals? Do you want money? Are you planning on dispoing for people? Are you taking these down yourself? What are you looking for?
sure.
And is it every city in Florida?
No, so if you want to be more clear, if you're in a major metro in the state of Florida, so Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, Broward County, that's Fort Lauderdale. What I want you to do is you want a deal sold, I'm buying. Okay. If you need help with seeing if there's a buyer out there in those markets, we can help with that too. Have all the relationships in Florida that you're looking for. In addition to that, I'm looking for your money or people that got money that's sitting around, not doing anything. Bring your money here. Let's talk about it. And I will show you how to put that money to work safely in an asset that's going to bring you money back and show you the track record to support that. That's what I'm looking for.
Love it. Awesome. My man. So real quick, I'm gonna put this in here. Your Instagram is it just Mr. Foxy? What is actually your Instagram? Is it Damon Mr. Foxy
Yeah.
Hart?
Yeah. Damon Hart, Mr. Foxy on IG.
I forgot exactly what is there some underscores in there or something?
Yeah,
You
there's
gotta
some
remind me.
words in there. So it's Damon. Yeah, that's a good one. Damon underscore Mr. underscore Foxy. Yeah, I made it
Okay.
super difficult for everyone. But if you just
Might
type,
have been like this. It might be a period, but guys, follow him on Instagram.
yeah,
He's got some really good stuff going on. If you're in Florida, I saw Luke. Luke is one of my private money lenders, so he might also become one of yours. He's a really good guy. He's also got deals in Florida. That's his market. He'll probably hit you up. How they should reach out to you is Instagram, right? That's probably the best way.
you can.
Or is there a different way?
I'm old. I'm old, right? 43 is old when you talk a millennial language.
Okay.
You can call me 813-413-7929. That's my phone. That's my real phone number. You can call me, text me, whatever. And you can also hit me up on Insta. I guess watch the replay here or whatever. Just look me up, Damon Hart. I won't. I'm a guy. I'm a caricature. I'm wearing a hat. I won't be hard to find. I'm on all the social medias except for Twitter. I just don't understand.
Uh, I love it, man. Well, I love it. I've given my phone number out on podcasts before, and then you get absolutely blown up. But I love it, dude. I love that you're into it. What else can we do for you? Is there anything else we can do for you as a thank you for coming on to the podcast?
Brother, if I could just say, I appreciate it. You're saying thank you to me, but I would just say thanks for having me on. Thanks for giving me the platform, and thanks for promoting all the love, man. For me, what you're doing is just shedding more light on this industry and why it's so special, why it's so powerful for people. And it's not just real estate in my world, bro. Like I feel like real estate is what's been great for me, but business overall is the American dream. That's why we're all here. So if we can just keep uplifting each other and focusing on helping each other grow, yo, we're doing that much more. So I'm stoked about that. So yeah, do that for me. Keep doing this podcast. How about that? That's what I'm
I
looking.
will. I've been doing it for a year and 3 months, and I had missed 1 week, and that was Christmas last year. That was the only week I missed. So I'm
man.
gonna keep doing it. Mr. Foxy, you're amazing. Stay afterwards. Let's talk a little bit. Guys, next week I've got on Monique Walker. This is like one of the best real estate agents in all of Phoenix. We're going to be breaking down more like how to work with agents, how they work with wholesalers and investors in general. It's going to be amazing. Next week, Thursday, 5 p.m. PST. I will see y'all there. Skorch the Fears. Let's freaking go.